Yes, people, Manscaped is back, but this time it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of radiant settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.
How are we doing, people? Hope you are well. Hope you are all good and hope you are looking forward to your day. Big up to all of you for being here nice and early. I hope that you have had a nice sleep. I certainly have. And we are up for another day. Friday today. So look towards the weekend. Obviously, Arsenal have got a friendly game, which I'm sure most of you are going to. I'm not actually going to that one, but I'm certainly going to be doing some coverage from it and some reaction from it. So looking forward to that one. And of course, we've got a weekend of sunshine planned, which is great stuff because the summer of August has actually been pretty good, to be fair. We can't lie. It's not been a horrendous summer for August. June and July, however, not the best. Big up to all of you that are here in the chat room. Please make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Please make sure you check out Manscaped as well. The code is FTM20. So please make sure you get 20% off of the Beard Hedger and that will sort you out. Good morning to everybody who is here live in the chat. Dan, good morning. No, I will not be there on Sunday, but please do enjoy yourself, mate. Big up to Steve, Will, Critical Thinker, Ewa, Sammy, Mark, Desi, Emerson. Big up to Mort. Big up to me mum, who's here. Big up to Anfield Lad. Big up to Khalid. Geordie Toon for Life. Mustafa. James. SA Scouser. Arteta's number one. Pickpocket. Love that. We're going to come on to that later. Trust me. Marcus. Rashid. Highbury's Local Badger. And everyone else that I've missed and that is also watching on catch up. Big up to every single one of you. We're going to be talking about Arsenal. We're going to be talking about Eddie. We're going to be talking about Zubimendi. And we're going to be talking about Anthony Gordon, both wanted by Liverpool. We're going to be talking about West Ham and how at the moment they are leading the race for having the best transfer window by far with the news that's breaking now. We're going to talk all things transfers. Let's get to it. Once you've hit the like and subscribe, you are set and ready to go. We've got well over 100 of you here now, so we should be able to get those likes up pretty quickly. So please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. They are absolutely free. Let's go to our first story then, shall we? We'll actually start with Liverpool. Zubimendi, £51 million release clause, roughly. Looks like Liverpool are very interested in this player, and I think this would be a phenomenal number 6 for them. I actually do believe that will potentially sort out their transfers. Bear me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. A huge wasp in my room running around, bugging me. It's still here, doing my head in, but I can't get rid of it. Apologies, people. Let's go back to it. Zubimendi, over £50 million release clause that Liverpool are interested in. And we're going to have to keep an eye on this one because it looks like it's going to happen potentially. I do think this would be a great signing for Liverpool, I've got to say. And they needed number 6 for how long? Probably easily 3 seasons now that they haven't had a number 6. It looks to me as if Fabinho, legs they went, it didn't really replace him, if I'm honest with you. Endo came in and did an okay job, but other than that, not really one that you see for the future. Zubimendi 100% deserves to be playing first team football, and therefore Arsenal, who a lot of people are saying, why aren't they going for him? Why aren't they going for him? Well, the reason we're not going for him is because we don't really need a proper 6 now that we're keeping Partey, Jorginho and Rice and going for number 8. So that's why we are not looking at Zubimendi. So that's that one. Liverpool are also very interested in Anthony Gordon, of course, who is, let's be real, he's been linked with Liverpool for a very long time now. Very, very long time. And he is definitely a player that would cost a hell of a lot of money. And I just can't see this one happening. One, I don't think Liverpool are going to be putting that much money down. I also don't think that Newcastle are going to be wanting to sell him. I really don't. I feel like potentially there's going to be a lot of fight to keep Bruno Guimaraes, Isak, and Anthony Gordon at Newcastle. But Liverpool and the rumour, this one will not go away. Liverpool are definitely in for Anthony Gordon, and they do want him. So this one could have some legs if they go in late with him. I don't think Newcastle are going to entertain any bid whatsoever. If they did want to try to get him out of Newcastle, you're going to have to be paying close to 100 million. I really believe that. I don't think Newcastle are going to budge. So let's be real. Newcastle have got 2 players which are definitely worth at least 300 million, which is Bruno, Isak, and Anthony Gordon. So is anyone going to go in for him? We'll have to see. A player who is definitely showing some interest as far as Liverpool are concerned, though, of course, is the young 22-year-old Dutch defender, Van den Berg. Hoffenheim, Stuttgart, Wolfsburg, Mainz, Mönchengladbach, and Bayer Leverkusen are all interested. So Sky Germany are reporting that there's definite interest for Van den Berg. That for sure looks like that could be happening. So watch this space and see what happens there. Let's move to Aston Villa, shall we? Liverpool starting to get a little bit busier. We've seen and heard, haven't we, about how Liverpool could be in a situation where they're not really doing much business. Well, if Zubimendi comes in, that's a very good signing. Anthony Gordon, they definitely need a winger, in my opinion, because it looks like Diaz is definitely not there for the future, or one that they see as a future. So that could be interesting. Let's see if they do any more business. Aston Villa, however, they do want to do business, and Unai Emery really wants this guy. It is, of course, João Felix. Apparently, the Aston Villa manager wants to sign the 24-year-old. He's keen to leave Atletico Madrid. As we know and we've spoken about before, João Felix is a player that I believe personally has got something. Who can get it out of him, though? Is it Unai Emery? Not many managers have been able to get the potential from him so far. And unfortunately, he's a player that's been around forever. He's still only 24 years old and hasn't really settled at any club. So really is going to be quite interesting to see if Aston Villa can get something out of him. That's for sure. Let's take a look at the next rumour, which does involve Aston Villa, but it is looking like it's a player that could be on his way out. Fulham have stepped up their interest in Aston Villa defender Diego Carlos. The 31-year-old Brazilian is expected to leave before the transfer window shuts, and Villa are open to offers. Now, this is a player who I thought was going to come onto the scene at Villa and actually set down a first-team place, but due to injuries, he's not really been able to. I've never been a huge lover of him, if I'm honest. I don't think he's a player I look at and think, wow, this is a player that everyone should need to be looking at. At 31 years old, I'm quite surprised that he's actually that age and he's not really been able to settle. At Aston Villa, he's definitely not playing in the first team enough. Obviously, Konza and Pau Torres get in. Got Tyrone Mings that's still injured, that's come back now. I don't know if he's got a future there. So what is going to happen with Diego Carlos? Villa are very interested. Obviously, they got rid of Tosin earlier in the window, so they're looking now to replace him. So maybe they will go for Carlos as their centre-half. But let's be real, I don't think Aston Villa will be massively gutted that this player is potentially leaving, because I'm not sure they absolutely 100% rate him. Let's talk about defenders and let's talk about West Ham, because West Ham are absolutely flying in this window. And now it looks like, according to Romano, that we have got a here we go. It looks as if Todibo is on his way to West Ham. It's a fantastic signing. According to Romano, West Ham are confident to get from him in the next few hours. The hijack is expected to be completed on Friday with a travel, as in today, with travel being prepared in case all goes to plan. Nice are to receive 40 million euros with a loan with an obligation to buy, plus a sell-on clause as well. Looks like West Ham are somehow going to steal this player from the noses of Juventus. Now, Tim Stainton deserves a lot of credit for this. I know Dan Lawless goes on about him all the time, but he is the new director. He's the new negotiator, and it looks like they're having an unbelievable summer. If you look at what they've brought in so far, Max Kilman and Todibo will now be the new partnership at the back. Obviously, they've brought in a new striker in Fulkrug. They've got Gilherm, who's the winger that they've brought in. They've also got the free player in midfield on free transfer that I cannot remember his name. Is it Rodriguez? So for me, they definitely had a very good window. And Todibo is a player that Manchester United wanted and Juventus wanted. He is a very good centre-half. So this is a very good signing for West Ham. To get him on loan with obligation to buy 40 million euros, wow, fair play. West Ham, fair play. I honestly believe that is a really good signing. But when one comes in, one must go out. And it looks as if Kurt Zouma is the guy that is going to be leaving West Ham. He's expected to have a medical with Shabab Al-Hali after a deal for the 29-year-old Frenchman was agreed, obviously over in Saudi Pro League. Now, Sky Sports are suggesting that that's going to be done, and it's literally a done deal. 29 years old, but his legs are completely gone. I never thought he was quite the same after that horrendous injury that he got at Chelsea when he played Manchester United. That knee injury, it just looked horrendous. You know, the way he landed, it just looked, his knee and ankle just thought, oh, that's not going to be good. And, yeah, it seems as if Kurt Zouma is on his way out at West Ham. So I think with Somerville, with Kudus, with Bowen, with Paqueta, who can play till January, apparently, during his investigation, the players that were in the first team of last year that are being upgraded upon will now become the subs bench. And I think West Ham could have a very, very good chance of going for Europe this season. I really do. If things click into place, that could be phenomenal. They are still, however, looking for a fullback. Soufal and Cresswell at the moment are the two that they're probably going to be looking as backup players. They've got Emerson at left back. They want a right back. There was reports that they wanted Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It looks as if he is demanding a massive fee away from Manchester United and saying that if you want me to leave, you've got to pay me. And Man United are not interested in that, apparently. So that one is stalling. But they were yesterday linked, of course, with Kieran Trippier, who they believe could be out of Newcastle. I think he's 33 years old now. West Ham, this would be a really good signing if they was to get him in the door. Whether they can or not, I don't know. Is he going to want a sideways step from Newcastle to West Ham? Does he see it as a sideways step or a backward step? It really does depend what Trippier wants to do. But Newcastle know he's in his last year of his contract, so this one could quite easily happen. So we'll see what happens there. West Ham, fantastic window. It has to be said. Like, real talk, I'm very, very impressed by what I've seen so far from West Ham. New manager, new regime, new director of football. Looks like this negotiation that's been taking place has been serious. And West Ham, you've got to say, lead the race for the best transfer window so far. They really do. In my opinion, absolutely, it is something that I can see happening as being West Ham going for European football this season. I really do believe that. This one comes in, and it is Wilf Zaha. Now, we reported yesterday that he might be on the move, and apparently he is open to returning yet again to Crystal Palace for what will be a third time. So that is a really good opportunity for Zaha. I think this would be a good signing for Palace. I really do. At 31 years old, he's still got a lot to give. He knows the club really well. The fans love him. This would kind of soften the blow to some of the players that they potentially lost. Of course, Eze looks to be off. Gehi looks to be off. Elise has gone. It leaves Adam Wharton, really, and Eze they're trying to have to claw onto. This would actually be... a really good signing for Crystal Palace. Always rated Zaha, always liked Zaha. Not a player that would come to Arsenal now, of course, and not a player that I want at Arsenal. Not really need a left winger, but certainly a player that I think would be very good at Palace. And to be fair, he's got 2 or 3 years at the very top still left, hasn't he? You know, players go on now till 35, really, don't they? So he's got a couple of years left in him, that's for sure. So let's see what happens there. I think they're very interested from what I hear as well, Palace. So I'll be very, very interested in this deal and believe that this could be something that we might see happen. So I think watch this space. And potentially this could be one that has some legs, because we all know the link to Palace, that's for sure. Let's talk about the next player, shall we? Bournemouth are going in for a centre-half, and he does play for Barcelona. Look at that hair. Incredible. Bournemouth are in advanced talks with Barcelona to sign the Mexican 22-year-old defender, Julian Araujo. 10 million euros, which works out around about £8.5 million deal. Fabrizio Romano says that this is in advanced talks, and they are looking at this player. Now, they have sold Lewis-Skelly for, what's his name? Where's he gone? Newcastle. There we go. I knew I'd get it right so far. So he has gone over to Newcastle. They need a centre half, basically. And this is the guy that they want. He is highly rated at Barcelona, 22 years old, has an unbelievable hairstyle, let's be real. So Bournemouth are looking at him. I don't know much about him. I really do not know enough about him, but they believe he's a good player. Bournemouth believe he's a good player. Iriola, watch what happens with Bournemouth. If they keep hold of Solanke, they could impress this season. I honestly believe that. So that could be a real interesting one for sure. Let's take a look at the next rumour, which is a Brentford rumour. They apparently agreed a loan deal with a clause to buy, which could become mandatory, worth around 10 million, to sign the 24-year-old Sweden midfielder Jens Kajuste from Napoli. I know nothing about him, but Romano is suggesting that this is a player that is probably on his way out. Now, if you remember, Napoli are looking at Billy Gilmore, apparently, so maybe he's coming in to replace this guy. This is the guy Brentford are looking at. This is the guy Brentford want, and it looks like it could be a loan with a permanent option. A lot of people are doing this. This PSR has really screwed teams, hasn't it? Because a load of teams no longer go for signings. They go for loans with options. That is really interesting for me to see what happens there. So let's see where we are at with the next rumour. It is, of course, David De Gea. And I said yesterday that he'd be a good option for someone. Well, Fiorentina have listened because Fiorentina is the place that he is going. So this one is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So let's see what happens here. I believe this is a good signing for someone. He's not an old school goalkeeper in terms of, oh my God, he's only going to have a year and that's it. He's still young enough to have a couple of years at a team. And I believe personally he could be a really good player. So let's see what happens here. David De Gea, let's be real, at Manchester United, the last season he had with them was actually pretty decent, to be fair. He got the Golden Glove. He's a really good shot stopper. And if I'm honest with you, not a bad signing for Fiorentina whatsoever, in my opinion. Would have been a good signing as a backup goalkeeper for someone, but if he wants first-team football, then fair play to him. The wages, I would love to know how much he's on. I mean, he was on 350, was it? 375, something like that. Let's be real. Absolutely mad to be putting him on that much wages. It really is insane. Let's talk Arsenal, shall we? Because this is back on. Eddie Nketiah looks like he could be in for a move to Marseille. It looked like it had gone dead. It looked like it wasn't going to happen. But according to Romano, Marseille have sent a new bid to Arsenal for Eddie Nketiah. Negotiations now restart. Nketiah remains keen on the move to Marseille as he is attracted to the project. Marseille are happy to return in talks, but they'd only advance at their conditions. Now, I don't know what that means. They will only advance at their conditions. How much have they sent in? We do not know. But last time it was 27 million and it got rejected. Does that mean this time it's 28 million or 29 million or 30 million? I have no idea. We will find out very, very soon, I am sure, from Fabrizio or one of the other reports suggested. But it has to be closer to 30 million euros for Marseille to think that they would be worth putting it in. There is absolutely no point of us going and deciding that potentially this is a really good move for us. They've put in from 27 million, it's got up to 27 and a half. Let's be real, it needs to be close to 30 million. And as long as it is between 27 and 30, let's just accept it and get this deal done. He clearly wants to go. We clearly need to sell him. Marseille clearly want him. Marseille are clearly struggling with money because of his wages. Let's just accept anything above 27 million euros and get this deal done so we can move to our next target. Honestly, let's just accept it. I think people say, oh, what, accept it? What do you mean accept it? And people might come in with 40 million, yeah? No, they're not going to. The Premier League teams would have by now shown interest. Forest, Everton, West Ham, Brentford, Fulham, Wolves, all these guys would have come in by now and said, we'll take Eddie off your hands. Bournemouth, they might say, do you know what? We'll take Eddie because potentially Solanke's leaving. You know, this is the thing. We have got potentially, like, we've just got to get this deal done. We really have to get this deal done. Like, let's be real. Aaron is saying here with the super chat, big up Aaron. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. 25 million for Eddie. Regretia, get him gone sharpish. A lot of people are feeling like this. A lot of people just say, let's just get him gone. I am one of them. But there's a lot of fan base that these accountants, they get very, very, oh my God, if we don't get 30 million, that's it. We will not be able to spend 2.5 million more on Merino. Like, really? Do you look at the books that much? Do you know what Arsenal have got? Because I don't. How do you know what Arsenal have got? How do you know that £27 million is going to ruin our summer by selling Eddie Nketiah? You don't know that, do you? You know, it's 100% profit. Hey, lender, if 27 million for Smith Rowe is the deal with add-ons, let's get rid of Eddie for that. Because if we're coming in with 27 million euros, we've just got to say yes to it. I'm sorry, we have to now. We're not getting we're not getting this anymore. We're not getting, oh, they've offered 27, then they're coming back with 30. Fulham are coming in with 35. West Ham have said they'll have him for 40. Forest will say 45. People are living in dream worlds. That's not going to happen. Eddie Nketiah is not worth more than 30 million euros. Sorry, he's not a good enough player. He really isn't. Anyway, that's the way I see it. And we always compare, don't we? Oh my God, we compare. Look at who went here and who went here. And I was guilty of that at the start of the window. But there was interest from those clubs. So of course they're going to do it. If a club says, I want your player and I really want him, how much is it going to cost? Well, he's going to cost 40. Okay, well, he's not worth that. I think he's worth 20. Okay, cool. We'll give you 30. What about 35 then? No. We want the. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how negotiation works. But that's because they're really interested in the player and have the money. Marseille clearly don't have the money, and he's the only option at the moment. If he doesn't go to Marseille, he'll probably end up staying at Arsenal. It's absolutely crazy. So that's the way I see it. Let's also move on to this guy, because it seems every morning we're linked with him. Every single morning there's something more to be talking about when it comes to, of course, Mikel Merino. I don't know how much we are interested in getting the offer accepted, because for me, the personal terms are already agreed. But how close are we? Well, we must be pretty close. And according to Fabrizio Romano, it is. Arsenal remain in active talks to complete the Mikel Merino deal. More steps to follow. That's what we keep hearing. It's close. More to follow in the upcoming days. It will be done by this day. It will be done by that day. But Merino has agreed on personal terms of Arsenal. The clubs are working on a deal structure and payment terms, which is a fee which is worth over 25 million euros. Atletico and Barcelona have already informed Mourinho's desire is to join Arsenal. So when Atletico and Barcelona were interested, those reports were true, but he wants Arsenal. Now, that's fantastic, because if the player wants the club, you just need to get it done. So this, for me, get Eddie done, get Merino done. They're the two deals I think that we're working on next. I think Eddie and Nketiah leaving is going to allow a pathway for one of the forwards. Nelson, looks like the Leicester deal was stalled. I don't think Leicester are looking at him anymore. They believe he's too much money. They're going for Bergwijn, and they're also going for the Brighton winger. I can't remember his name now. It's got a really strange name, like Buonarroti or someone like that. They're looking at him. So it does look as though Nelson at the moment is staying at Arsenal unless any more bids come in. Now, there was rumours that West Ham were interested. They ended up going for Somerville. There's rumours that Forest was sniffing around him. Definitely Everton, but they're looking at Willie Gnonto. So at the moment, it looks like Nelson is an Arsenal player, and I don't know how long that's going to stay for. I do believe there's a potential for him to actually stay, and we might have to cut our losses with him. This is the guy. Who can say his name? Buonanotte? I don't know, but he's the guy who's going from Brighton to Leicester. So Leicester look to have gone for him, and they're looking at Bergwijn. So it doesn't look like they want Nelson. I think we asked for 20 to 25 million, and they said that was way too much. So it looks now, doesn't it, as if there's the opportunity for Leicester and Brighton to do some business there, and that Reiss Nelson probably isn't part of Leicester's plans anymore, which is a shame, because I thought that would have been the perfect club for him to get some first-team football. I don't know how many other clubs are interested. West Ham no longer. Well, now they've got Somerville and Kudus and Bowen. Obviously, you've got Nottingham Forest, who have still got, by the way, Morgan Gibbs-White, Elanga, and Hudson-Odoi. So I don't know why they would want another winger. So let's see. Let's see where he goes. I don't think he's got a future at Arsenal. I don't think Arteta believes he's got a future at Arsenal. But this could be very interesting for sure. So let's see whereabouts it goes from there. The other thing I wanted to report was quite funny, really. I think all of you were aware of this, but let me share the screen anyway, because it did make me laugh when I read this. This is typical Mikel Arteta, isn't it? We saw yesterday, or a lot of people would have saw this. that apparently at the dinner with his players, Arsenal manager Arteta secretly hired a team of professional pickpocketers. The sleight-of-hand artists were tasked with going around the tables, pinching phones and wallets from the unwitting first-team squad. At the end of the meal, Arteta stood up and asked the team to empty their pockets. A number of players are missing valuable items. The idea was to teach his squad the importance of being ready, alert, and prepared at all times. Now, a lot of people were laughing at this and believe this is another light bulb moment. This is another playing the speakers at Anfield moment. A little bit of a strange one. Potentially it is, if I'm honest. I don't quite understand what goes through his brain sometimes. Teaching people to be alert on the football pitch is very different to doing it at dinner. So I think most people would have probably had their phones and wallets nicked at dinner when they're trying to relax and they're not on the football field. But I can kind of understand what he's getting at. It did make me laugh. Roms, bless him, on Twitter. I don't know if you follow Roms. Please make sure you do go follow Roms on Twitter. Absolutely hilarious. There's a picture or there's a status which says Arsenal players after dinner, and it's the British Got Talent guy on the microphone saying, "Where's my keys? Oh, where's my phone? Oh, where's my keys? Oh, where's my phone?" It was quite good, I must say. It did make me laugh, and a few fans in my WhatsApp group laugh. It was quite good. Listen, it's a bizarre thing to do, but if Mikel Arteta has this way of trying to ensure that his players are alert, then perhaps they now go to dinner and they'll be alert as well. But listen, they do need to relax at some points. Sometimes there needs to be time for them to chill and enjoy dinner with their friends. So that's the way I see it. But anyway, that's it this morning. Apologies that he got disrupted. This wasp is still somewhere. I don't know where the hell he is, but I'm trying. I thought if I just turn my camera and mute off, I'll try and get him out the window. And he has disappeared. He's probably gone into my bedroom now, probably, knowing me, my luck. But there we go. Let's see what happens. Big up to all of you for being here. Make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. There will be a show later on, probably be towards this afternoon, where I'm going to be talking about Arsenal's need or lack of need for a striker. Now that we've just beaten Leverkusen 4-1, yes, you guessed it, a lot of Arsenal fans are now suggesting we do not need a striker now. Look, we're scoring goals. I personally have a different approach to it and a different viewpoint on it. So join me for that one. Probably going to be around lunchtime. So please make sure that you are there for that. I'm going to say it's going to be around about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Got to decide how much I'm doing this morning first. So I will speak to you very soon, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out Manscaped and use the code FTM20. Really appreciate you doing that on the beard hedger. Get yourself some beard trimmers for 20% off from Manscaped, who, of course, are the best. And listen, we'll see you next time. Take it easy. We're out of here, and I'll see you at lunchtime. Take care. Peace.
Yes, people, Manscaped is back. But this time, it's not for below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of radiant settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.